Yo, yo. Yo, yo. Yo, yo. Yeah, Mookie.
Yo,
How you feeling, yo?
it's early, bro.
My man right here, he tired, man. I came to him, first of all, Merry Christmas, y'all.
Absolutely.
I told Mookie I was Did I tell you I was coming over? Probably not, did I? Nah, I didn't tell you I was coming over. But look, man, look. I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, yo, it's Christmas. It's in the morning. Let's just put in work. What we doing? What you doing?
I was sleeping.
Oh my gosh. Look, man, if y'all new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Mookie!
Yeah.
Kimbo Slice, yo. Kimbo Slice. What do you remember about this dude when he first came out, bro?
A while ago, this back when YouTube wasn't even booming yet, bro.
Right.
YouTube was not booming yet, bro. And like somebody just showed him to me.
Right.
What's this dude, bro? Demolishing these dudes in like 15 seconds.
Straight off the yard, too. I think my man came straight messing. I don't know his backstory, but how I looked at it, I'm like, yo, my man trying to make a way for himself. Mm-hmm. So he challenging everybody. He's fighting boxers, UFC fighters, and it's all street brawls.
Yeah, man.
I was in college when I seen this dude. You know how I remember this dude? The way how his stance was. Mm-hmm. His stance was like this. Look, man, like I said, if y'all new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This a little long video, 27 minutes, but we about to knock it out.
Yes,
Mookie! Let's get straight to it, bro.
At the dawn of the 2000s, videos. Kevin Ferguson was born in the winter of 1974 in the Bahamas. As a child, he moved to the United States with his family and found a new home in Florida. The future neighborhood menace grew up in a poverty-stricken Miami suburb, surrounded by crime from an early age.
You know, the neighborhood it was rough. You know, people was dying. You know, you go out to take out the garbage, you would go around the corner and you would see a foot, and you just throw the garbage in the dumpster and run back upstairs.
Right.
And hey, man, just, you know.
Kimbo, as his friends called him, was often bullied by peers since moving to the U.S. Classmates laughed at his accent, and the cockiest ones would even try.
He looked like a big boy in high school. He looked like he was the bully in high school.
Yeah.
To steal his lunch. Fighting back was the only option.
If you want respect, you gotta give respect. And that's what I taught him. Don't let them talk to you any kind of way. And when you're talking to them, you gotta look them straight in the eye. Show him that you're not afraid, and he is not afraid. That is one child, he's not afraid.
In middle school, he met Mike Ember. The teenagers quickly turned into best buds. Kimbo already weighed north of 200 pounds, was considered the toughest guy in school, and would stand up for his friend in any situation.
Had a bond where, you know, if I ever needed anything, he was always there, and I did need him. And, you know, so when I was younger and I wasn't developed, I was getting beat up. And he said, you know, that was one thing that I wanted to make sure didn't happen to anybody that I knew.
Chasing the goal of becoming a football player, in high school, Kimbo moved closer to downtown Miami. By his senior year, he was one of the biggest prospects from the East Coast. But nature itself spoiled the youngster's plans. In August 1992, Hurricane Andrew hit South Florida. The 165-mile-per-hour winds shattered entire city blocks to pieces, leaving some 170,000 people homeless. Among them was Kimbo, who was forced to live in a car for the next month. The school football season was canceled. A year later, the future internet sensation entered the University of Miami, where he stayed for one semester only due to a modest scholarship. After quitting higher education, he tried out for the NFL, but couldn't secure a spot on the Miami Dolphins' first team. Saying goodbye to his childhood dream, Kimbo would turn to the city streets to make money. He washed cars by day and worked as a bouncer at a strip club by night. 2 years had passed in this manner, until one day he stumbled upon his old friend. In the early 2000s, Mike Ember was a producer for an adult film production company. Learning about Kimbo's situation, he offered his old pal a job. From then on, the big man drove exhausted actresses around in a limo and guarded the film set. It brought some financial security, but as a young father, Kevin had to provide for his family. He once again turned to Mike, whose resourceful mind generated a brilliant idea. Ember, who had never seen his friend defeated in a scuffle, devised a simple yet genius plan. They would drive around the city, challenging local fighters. One would take bets, and the other would beat the crap out of anyone who had the guts to step up. The scheme worked wonderfully, and Kimbo's biggest talent was put to use effectively. The unbeaten Kimbo gained the status of the street fighting king. He had been seeking a worthy challenge for a while and finally got what he wanted. Police officer Sean Cannon Gannon was a 6-time Golden Gloves boxing champion with a bit of MMA experience. The parties agreed to a
Wow, yo was a beast.
Oh my gosh, it's the first time I ever seen Kimbo get shook, bro.
For real.
Yo, this police officer is a beast, bro.
For real, he was
He
different.
was not ready. Kimbo was not ready for him, bro.
no time limit war, and the knockdown count was supposed to be 30 seconds. Kimbo kicked things off briskly.
Come on, Sean! Keep working.
Yeah. Check him out.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here.
Actually, my department uses Monday.com, so I'm good.
Work management.
Sean survived the assault and delivered a counter. The guillotine attempt infuriated Slice's corner. While the subsequent takedown angered Gannon's friends.
They like, get back. You got up there.
Returning to the feet, visibly tired, Kimbo kept trying to find the enemy's chin. The policeman was mixing it up to the body and the head. They were both very depleted, but refused to stop throwing heavy leather.
Right.
7 minutes in, Sean uncorked an unexpected series of elbows. Kimbo managed to get up, only to collapse on the ground from exhaustion in a matter of seconds. Slice defied gravity again, but there was no point in continuing. Kimbo lost for the first time, although you wouldn't have guessed it by looking at Shannon's face. The brawl against a competent opponent with a combat sports background exposed the gaps in Kimbo's style, yet his spirit was unquestionable. Meanwhile, a video titled Kimbo Slice vs. Police Officer went viral. It amassed over 10 million views across various platforms, surpassing any MMA content that year. Professional promoters previously preferred to ignore Slice, but now the struggle for the street fighter has unfolded. Ever since Kimbo's name first gained notoriety, rumors about his possible transition to MMA started spreading. It came to fruition in the summer of 2007, when news broke out that the 33-year-old Slice would make his debut in the nascent Cage Fury Fighting Championship. The adversary was none other than a true boxing legend, Olympic gold medalist and former WBO champion, Ray Mercer.
Killed Tommy
I
Gunn.
got one thing to say, man. I'm gonna break you, boss.
I think he's afraid
A
of Kimbo.
rear hand uppercut to the body, followed by an elbow to the head. A combo rarely seen even in modern MMA. The Bahamian
That first punch, he probably looked at it like, yo hit hard.
Hey, Lord have mercy. What I get myself into.
He probably like, yo hit hard, yo.
Crazy.
got the job done in 19 seconds, and at the same time helped the rival discover his talent for drumming. Now showered with attention, Kimbo needed a unique challenge. Tank Abbott was a former street fighter himself and had successfully turned it into a UFC career.
Yeah, I'm in the chat.
Oh,
Back in the 90s, the wild-mannered heavyweight was the embodiment of no holds barred, but had lost his step by the time he met Slice. In a chaotic start, Kimbo landed a couple of bombs and hit the back of the head, chasing the finish.
oh, oh.
As soon as the contest continued, someone's mouth guard was found on the canvas. Before the ref had time to figure out what was happening, Slice had already thrown it into the crowd. When they finally re-engaged, Kimbo went into berserker mode.
To this main event, just listen to this crowd.
The kill shot blasted Tank's
He like
head.
it up.
Another right across the chin. Third one's the charm. Kimbo Slice wins the main event.
The timer froze at 43 seconds,
Crazy.
putting a stamp on one of the most brutal annihilations of the year.
Right across the jaw. The third one's the...
In early 2008, Elite XC signed a deal with CBS, one of the largest TV networks in the USA. For the first time, MMA was going to be broadcast on free television in prime time. Kimbo was entrusted to...
So UFC and MMA was on the come up at the same time.
Yeah, man. But the thing about the UFC started cage fighting in the 90s.
Right.
It was looked at as like barbaric.
Oh, for real. So they just.
Yeah, so you had dudes like Tank Abbott, Frank Shamrock. I forgot the other dude name, but he beat up this Asian dude like crazy. I forgot. He a legend, bro. You had these type of guys, you know, old bouncers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Coming in there, you know, just doing their thing. You
just
see what
getting
I'm
it
saying?
in.
Just getting it in. And yeah, it wasn't looked at as in a good light.
Right.
It was looked at in a bad light.
Shoot, yeah, look at it like that. You put two people in a cage fighting. Your first instinct is like, yo. And you talking about like, like y'all, it's not stopping until somebody's like actually like on the ground or something like that.
It's somebody tap out on the ground, tap out.
Right, and then you can beat them up while they get on the ground.
Yeah, until they pull you off.
Yeah, that's vicious.
Crazy.
To headline the historic event, opposite a former Pride FC veteran, James Thompson. James declined a game of chance on the feet and leaned into his wrestling. Halfway through round 2, Kimbo got a chance to load up. But was grounded again shortly after. Losing on the scorecards at the start of the final stretch, Slice delivered an overhand, forcing a panic shot out of Thompson. The Bahamian negated the attempt and uncorked the finishing flurry. The Brit wanted to eat the referee alive, but this 1,000-yard stare spoke for itself. The main event of the evening attracted 6.5 million people to the screens, becoming the most watched MMA showdown in television history. The same Kimbo Slice who brawled in the backyards of Miami has now turned into one of the biggest attractions in the sport.
His ear was about to fall off.
Kimbo wasn't about to slow down. His next opponent was supposed to be Ken Shamrock, but he received a cut hours before the bout. As a result, Seth Petruzzelli stepped in on short notice, a former UFC fighter and a black belt in karate and BJJ.
Slice quickly
Like
across.
Itchy Little.
Punches. Oh! Slice goes down. Slice gets pounded out, and they stop it. Rocky is here.
As soon as Kimbo closed the distance, he got welcomed with a fist to the face. Considering Petruzzelli's resume, many hardcore fans predicted Slice's defeat, perhaps in a slightly more competitive manner. Kimbo's consolation prize was $500,000 for 14 seconds in the cage.
How he lose? Though? He have a chance to get up, or they cheated him?
No, it could have been that too, because he was probably the favorite to win. Yo, this is the hurt business, bro. There's so many crooked snakes in this business, you wouldn't even believe, bro.
But yo, if you watching this fight, it looked like he was trying to get up.
Yeah, he got clipped with that right that dude gave him.
Yeah.
It brought him down.
And he just did this to his head, but it looked like he was trying to get up.
It looked like it, bro, but you know what I'm saying? When there's money on the line, it don't matter who win or lose.
All right, boy. Holla at you, boy.
The result upset the Elite XC bosses, but the worst was yet to come. Subsequent to the bout, Petrozelli admitted that the organization had offered him extra money to keep the fight standing. A scandal flared up, and Dana White had a field day with it.
That's fucking illegal.
With their main asset losing and problems with the broadcaster arising, the promotion went bankrupt.
You gotta see me again, yo.
Since the day Kimbo first stepped foot in the cage, no one has tried to belittle the street fighter more than Dana White. The UFC president called Slice the toughest guy at the barbecue and believed that Elite XC events were pulling the sport back into the 90s. But as soon as the Bahamian was no longer under contract, White changed his mind.
I guess so.
It's just a random day. I get a phone call, and it's Dana. On the phone, he goes, "I bet this is the last call you would ever, expect to get." And I'm like, I'm actually not so surprised, Pretty fucking
So
bright.
what Dana White, what he wanted him for real?
Who, Dana?
Yeah. So why he was trying to talk trash on the other promotion company, yo?
Man, think about it, man. Yeah, listen, bro. Think about it. Of course he gonna try to belittle.
So Kimbo was basically the face of that promotion company.
Kimbo was the face of brawling, bro. Period, bro. And you couldn't duck Kimbo, bro. You
Right.
couldn't bring up cage fighting, street fighting without saying Kimbo, bro.
Slice.
Yeah. And
You know there's something there with him.
Kimbo became part of the 10th.
That's what's up, Kimbo,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
People don't never know what's on it.
The
You just look at the
other side of
outside.
that coin, you feel
Yeah,
what I'm saying? They just looking at the brute and the grittiness, the anger, the destruction.
Right.
And not to know he a person too. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
on
saying?
everything. And that's all. Another thing is, y'all, that's all a person be wanting, yo. Somebody to be around people with the same heart as them. You feel me?
Kimbo's appearance on The Ultimate Fighter brought record-breaking views, which prompted the UFC to give him a second chance. In his debut, he faced a middle-of-the-road striker in Houston Alexander. Slice hunted for the chin in his usual style.
Combination.
Oh, nice movement. Good. Start to really move forward, Joe.
Nice jab by Kimbo.
And even showed progress in the wrestling department.
Houston, yep.
He's taking his back.
To the top.
He gave his opponent
Hey!
a proper beating on the canvas,
Big ground.
The ground game, if he was going to be a true MMA.
until he lost the position.
Alexander's up.
In the third round, Alexander went on the offensive
Alexander has one punch knockout power. We've seen that before. Here's what.
and soon dropped the Bahamian.
Huge kick. That's the one we talked about.
That was a big shot.
The ending wasn't easy.
Both guys are so tired, Mike. Look how slow these punches are coming. Oh, big elbow by Houston.
But Kimbo didn't let the fight slip away.
Wow.
Yeah.
5 months after the hard-earned victory, he faced Matt Mitrione, whom he knew from their time on Tough. Kimbo surprised Mitrione in the early going with an
Got
explosive
him.
takedown,
Goodness.
Wow, what a
but got stuck in a triangle.
Look at this, secured it.
Mitrione
It's
trying to finish
too
his
far
fight.
to the foot, though.
Only his innate power helped him escape the strangle. When they stood back up, Matt implemented some low kicks.
Nice.
They're heavy.
Oh, again.
Mitrione looking to
Forcing Slice
killing
to
him.
shoot for the legs again.
Kimbo's a tough warrior,
He
man.
doesn't.
Ending up on top, Mitrione took mount and sealed the deal.
Mitrione are exhausted here.
Being shown.
That's it. That's it.
Over.
Kimbo had the courage to compete in the world's strongest league, but was clearly outmatched by elite athletes in terms of skill. No matter how hard he tried to make up for that deficit, the street fighter couldn't keep up with the true pros.
Right.
Following the defeat,
His what I'm looking to, bro, even though it's very important, his stamina seemed like it just wasn't strong, bro.
You gotta think in the streets, he was getting them over in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, he was
15
knocking out
seconds.
people,
Yeah.
bro. So I think one of the things he really lacked in was that stamina. Because if he just stayed, not tired, basically, he'd knock a lot of these dudes out. Well, he'd compete way better. But I know fighting is a tiring sport, though.
Right.
You feel me?
Definitely. That's why you gotta be ready for it.
Right.
Slice was released from his contract. After leaving the UFC, 36-year-old Kimbo decided to venture into professional boxing before it became mainstream. Slice performed at smaller events, where he amassed a 7-0 record against questionable opposition. After nearly 3 years of boxing, the Bahamian hung up the big gloves. The main reason for the departure was Kimbo's desire to spend more time with his loved ones. Despite his ruthless demeanor inside the cage, outside of it, Slice was always a family man.
There's a lot of them. My first oldest son, Kevin Jr., then my second oldest son, Kevin II, then my oldest daughter, Kevina, then my second oldest daughter, Kiera, and then my third oldest son, Kevlar, my third youngest daughter, Cassandra, my son's baby's mom, Kiana, my little grandson, Kevin III, and we have a dog named Kimmy. That's the family.
Brought up in the ghetto, Kimbo sought to give them everything that he himself was deprived of. His kids have always been his main priority in life, although the former street fighter's methods of education were unorthodox.
Well, who's that texting me?
Keytrick.
So tell me about him.
All right, he taller than you, right? He like 6'3".
Oh, I like big niggas. I like the drop.
No, wrong thought.
No, right thought.
He had a reality show.
After a 2.5-year hiatus, Kimbo's fists grew itchy. In 2015, he announced his return to MMA by signing a long-term deal with Bellator.
It's the fight fans want to see.
First up, Kimbo faced another veteran, Ken Shamrock. They had unfinished business since their days in Elite XC.
And I slept.
My man went to Florida real quick.
Shamrock landed a takedown at the outset.
Level change, the single leg and hit by Shamrock.
And went for his signature move.
It's under the net. That is tight.
But couldn't break the Bahamian. And during the assault, Slice got back up and issued a retirement check for the vet.
Slice back to his feet and unloading with the right hand. It was all Ken Shamrock, now all Kimbo Slice. Drop Shamrock and the count for beyond.
Having secured his first MMA win in 5 years.
Why did he put that arrow on his chest like
I
that?
say, what is that? Got an Avatar logo on
Why
his
did he
chest.
put the arrow on his chest like that?
Got an Avatar logo.
Kimbo faced Dada 5000, another street fighting alumnus whom he knew from their Miami Scraps days. Both former neighborhood tough guys gassed out on their way to the cage.
They did.
Smiling him to right down to his hip.
The bout was fought under the rules of oxygen deprivation.
Come here.
Nonetheless, Slice proved to be the fresher of the two.
Can't even get his hands up anymore. Kimbo gets out of his way, he's gonna fall. Dada has no idea where he is, and that's the ground.
The veterans' showdown clearly didn't live up to nostalgic expectations.
It did.
Nevertheless, in his first Bellator bout, Kimbo drew over 2 million viewers to their screens. And in his next outing, he pushed the metric to 2.5 million, setting a promotion record that stands to this day. After all those years, Kimbo Slice was still a superstar. In the summer of 2016, he was preparing to step into the Bellator cage for the third time. But a month before the event, his health seriously deteriorated. The doctors diagnosed him with heart failure. The slugger's situation worsened day by day.
He's taking his back.
Hey, right on his neck.
The day is on, the time has come. You battled hard, a war is won. You did your worst, you tried
Tyson.
Living life people dream of.
Now it's time to rest.
Took care of his family.
Now it's time to rest.
One thing I can say about this, bro, unless he ain't get too detail in his personal life, but it seemed like Kimbo Slice, he wasn't really like flamboyant with his money and all. Like he more so wanted just to take care of his family.
Dude, yeah.
You feel me? He wanted to take care of his family, bro. Overall of this video, bro, what you think?
Oh, it was a good vid, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a good vid. Good light on him, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not just the rough street side, you know what I'm saying, but also the person that he was.
Yeah, the person that he is, man. Dang, yo, rest in peace, Kimbo Slice, man.
Slice, yeah, man.
When he first hit the internet, bro,
he just blew up.
Yeah,
he was probably one of the first viral sensations.
Vlogs and all that. Yeah, bro. Florida boy, man. Shout out to Vosport for this video, man. This was an amazing, amazing video. We know y'all been asking for a Kimbo Slice video, so we just try to get that to y'all.
Absolutely.
Look, man, if y'all new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, man. Merry Christmas to y'all, man. Please enjoy y'all family, man. I'm Nick DUNSON.
And I'm Mookie DUNSON.
And we out, baby. One.